Okay, guys, so today's subject is going to be about music. So I know a lot of you don't know, but I used to be in a band, garage band, stuff like that. And we never really made it or anything like that, but it was just the fun part of getting together and making music together. So it was really, it was fun. We played out of my parents' garage, and the neighbors actually kind of liked listening to our music. So we would have the garage door open, the drums were in the garage, we had like the instruments out front, and we were like trying out singers at the time too. So, and then writing the music and stuff like that. So, but it was fun times. I mean, I really enjoyed like making music and stuff like that. So, I was in like a couple of bands. I think, well, let's go back. Like the first band I was in, we did have to get a new drummer, and then we wound up playing a backyard party. It was okay. It was kind of nerve-wracking for me, but we did it. And it just never went any farther than that. Never really went like to any clubs or stuff like that. But it was all right. It was just the fact of just creating music, having fun, making memories. And actually the neighbors around the neighborhood at that time, they really liked our playing, which was unusual because the type of music that we're playing was kind of like the hard rock heavy metal type, because we enjoyed like I grew up in the 80s. They had the 80s metal like Motley Crue, Rat, stuff like that, and we were trying to play the same style of music. The bass player was an Iron Maiden fan, so a lot of his music was Iron Maiden bass, so we were playing that. And yeah, we just had a good time. Went through a couple of members, and then kind of like the thing of playing in a band kind of stalled a little bit because life got in the way where I had to go get a job and start working, and I couldn't really play anymore. And then wound up in another band after that. But that was about it for me. And then the singer that we had ended up with, his name's Jesse. He's a really good singer, man. Really good singer. He wound up playing with another band, and then I guess he formed another one. It was called Resin 8 with the number 8. He made a couple of videos on YouTube, so if you want to go check that out, you can. But yeah, they did some good stuff. And I tried joining that band, Resin 8, but I wasn't playing guitar. I was actually playing bass. So that was kind of like a weird concept for me. I borrowed my dad's bass, which was given to him by my best friend that we don't talk anymore. But I was using that bass, and then I was using like their old bass player's equipment for like the amp and stuff like that. And then that stopped because the bass player came back and took all of his stuff, so I had nothing to play off of. So that was like short-lived, but it was still kind of fun trying to just learn bass lines and stuff because I'm used to playing guitar. So it was weird. But anyway, after that, then I started making my own music. I was like the one-man band. I would program drums, I would play the bass. I eventually bought my own bass and then play guitar on there. I tried my hand at vocals, but not that good at it. So it's kind of like sounded like a screeching cat, but that's okay. I was trying, and I wanted to get my friend in on it, but sometimes he was busy. I did get him to sing on a song, one of my songs, and that came out like really good. He took a couple of takes and did his little old style to it, and it came out really good. He kind of liked certain parts of it. So, from that point on, I just basically did just like my own studio stuff. So I came out with a few things, but eventually, it just, I don't want to say it got overbearing or anything, but it just sort of like stopped, and I would just play for fun and stuff like that. So, but when I started YouTube, the idea was to make music as I needed it, for whatever videos, and then put my own music on there, because I would look at some of the music sites that say like Epidemic Music, And you pay like a monthly fee or something like that, but the only problem that I found with it was if you decided to cancel the subscription, you couldn't use their music anymore. You basically would have to pull it off on all your videos that you published on YouTube. If not, you would get a strike on it. And I was like, whoa, so you're basically locked into Epidemic Music, or Epidemic Sound, I think it's called. And, so it's like if you wanted to keep your videos up there, you had to, keep paying to Epidemic Sound. I forget the name, but so I found this other music company called Artlist. What was unique about Artlist was, and I explained this in another video before, like a long time ago, is like you can use their music, you can download as much as you want, but if you wind up canceling, you can no longer download any music, like duh, but everything that you already used in a video before is already considered licensed, and you can continue using that. But you can't use the same music that you used in the video before and use it in the new video because you're not paying to their subscription. So I'm like, well, that's fair. So if I didn't like their pricing, then I could cancel, but I didn't have to demonetize any of my videos. Not that I monetized anyway, but I wouldn't get a strike against me. And that was their deal. So now you hear more about Artlist than you do Epidemic Sound, which is weird. So I don't know if people caught on to that or what, but I went ahead and I signed up for Artlist, and I've been using the music for Artlist because the only reason I was doing that was because in order to try to make my own music, it would take me probably forever to publish videos because, you go ahead and like have your music going and then like not your music, but you have your video out there, and then you'd have your music like playing, but like it would just take more time for me to create the music, get the right sound, and do all that. So it was just like, what the heck? So I went ahead and I went with Artlist. Now Artlist, basically it gives me the music that I'm looking for. Now I'm not like advertising for Artlist. I'm just telling you what I did. I'm not getting paid or anything for this, but Artlist like had the music that I needed, and it was just like that, and so I stuck with Artlist. Now the one thing about Artlist though that I didn't like was like this last couple of months I see a charge on my card, and to look at it was Artlist. It was like double the price. I'm like, what the heck, man? I got no warning saying that, they're going to discontinue the current plan that I'm on, and they're going to upgrade me to, Artlist Max or whatever they call it. And it was like about $500. I go, shoot. Well, I'm upgraded, and I can, put their music on any platform, like multiple channels and stuff like that, without getting... Well, that was awkward. My camera overheated, and it shut down. It is kind of a warm day, but anyway, finally got it back up. I had to let it cool down a little bit, but I was talking about Artlist and how they upgraded me automatically, and it cost me about $500 to do that. But at least I could post music to, let's say I have several YouTube channels. I can use Artlist without getting a copy strike or going against their terms of agreement. So I guess there's a benefit to that, but then, if I'm paying $500, then I should probably go ahead and use Artlist more often and put music in and clips and stuff like that because, hey, that's what I signed up for. But anyway, I was using Artlist because it was just going to take me too long to create music and on my own. That way I wouldn't have to use any of these services. And I guess the idea was to create music that would, I could use constantly, and then I wouldn't have to keep creating different music for different videos. It would be kind of like almost the same. But that wasn't working out because it would just take me too long to get the videos out, because I spend probably most of my time just trying to create the music, and so I had to go, the easy way, and go ahead and get Artlist. So that's my story on that. But as far as music goes, do I play anymore? Not so much, since I injured my wrist. So unfortunately, the wrist that I injured is the fretboard hand, and that uses a lot of movement than the strumming hand. And so I've sort of haven't really given up on it. It's just I'm not willing to make the injury worse or the damage worse with my left wrist. So I'm kind of giving it a break. So to me, that's a little depressing on that part, because I use music and playing guitar as means of relieving stress. So now I'm kind of without a de-stressor, and now it's more I'm not sure how to decompress sometimes. But luckily, the new job I have, I don't have that much stress. And so right now, I kind of decompress a little bit. It's not as good as playing music, but making videos would be my kind of I guess you could say therapy. I can get things out there, but then again, I can't really say what's on my mind, because sometimes we really shouldn't speak actually what's on our mind, because that could just get us in trouble and stuff like that. But I can work around that and kind of get stuff out there. But that's neither here or there. But yeah, I was in a band before. I did play. I have made my own music, and I did put my own music in one of my videos, and I think that was the LA County Bite-Size Fair. I just made a quick thing a long time ago, and I put it in there, part of it, and it actually fit with how whatever I shot, and it worked. So it's my own music is in there. There's no singing, it's just music, and it just went really well, and I had planned to kind of keep using that, but I didn't want to use the same music all the time. But you know what, sometimes you have to keep using the same music, because it just fits with the mood and stuff that you're trying to set. So but anyway, that's kind of the subject of music. I'm gonna try to see if I can go back to playing guitar a little bit, because my wrist is sort of today it's hurting me, so I probably wouldn't play guitar, but I would try to go back on it and try to, ease myself back on playing, and then hopefully I can get more enjoyment out of it, instead of that hurts and I have to stop. It is what it is, guys, but the only other option that I have is try to learn to play left-handed, and that option is still available. So I just have to pick a guitar, restring it to a left hand, and then go ahead and try to practice and play left hand, and it's just going to be so annoying to try to learn how to play on a different side. So, but hey, it could work. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, I apologize for the subject of this video. When my camera just overheated, I just lost all train of thought on what I was talking about. But I was kind of trying to pick back up where I left off, and it's just that pause, kind of I don't know. Anyway, I'm still gonna put the video out, because this is still gonna be part of my daily, and I got some of my thoughts out there. But now I'm gonna have to deal with the issue of the camera overheating. It's not even really summer yet, and this camera's just gonna be the death of me. But also, I am recording an extended period. I probably only do maybe 5 minutes, and that shouldn't really affect it that much. But here it goes, it's starting to overheat. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you. I love you all, and keep your thoughts clean. Let's make this happen, and have a good night. See, my thoughts are out there. Anyway, guys, have a good night.